LLCs versus land trusts. What do we want to look at here when we're breaking these things down? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take that list and show you how I would handle it if I was evaluating that. So the first one we had on here was asset protection. Okay, so which one of these entities is going to provide asset protection for you? Well, right out of the box, you're always going to have asset protection with a limited liability company. And what I mean by that is that if you have a property inside of the LLC and something goes wrong with that asset and somebody's injured and they sue, they're going to sue the limited liability company. And so you're down here as the member, you're not going to be liable with that LLC. That LLC is going to protect you. So when it comes to asset protection, in 90% of the cases, the LLC is the way to go. Now, that doesn't mean the land trust doesn't offer you some benefits here as well. So the land trust, let's say I give it a baby check mark here from asset protection standpoint. And that is because if you have real estate in Florida, in that particular state, a land trust does provide asset protection. So I could set up a land trust here in Florida and put my residential real estate into it. And similar to what I have over here with the LLC, that same thing would play out the same way. That is, if something went wrong with that trust property, Clint, as the beneficiary, would not be liable under Florida law. Now, what I just described to you is limited just to Florida. So you couldn't say, well, I'm going to set up a trust. I'm going to call it a Florida land trust, and it's going to hold property in Minnesota. Sorry, does not work that way. It has to be property located in Florida. So if you want anonymity for your or asset protection for your land trust, then by itself, it's not going to reach this. So you have to take it one step further. And that's why whenever we talk about land trust, you'll always see us tell you to put that land trust into a limited liability company in order to get that big check mark of asset protection. So really what you're doing now is you're incorporating the LLC with the land trust. So we're back to that limited liability company benefit there. So on that standpoint, the LLC is going to be your better option if all you're focusing on is asset protection. All right, so what's number two? Taxation. Moving property into the entity and not having to pay a transfer tax or having that property reassessed. Now, one thing that I've learned is that in 49 states, Pennsylvania is the only odd one out there, but in about 49 states, the land trust is the way to go when it comes to taxes. So from a tax standpoint, I should probably have these up. I'll just put tax here. If you can read it, I'll have tax there and asset protection up here. Okay, so from a tax standpoint, the land trust is always going to be the preferred entity. We use this a lot whenever we're dealing with a situation where there's a transfer tax or there's a reassessment, because in those situations, by moving into the trust, it does not trigger that. Whereas the LLC, it's 50-50 whether or not that's going to happen. So if you have that issue where you own property, then you are going to put that property into a land trust. But then you're going to bring that LLC back. If you want asset protection, you got to put that land trust back into a limited liability company. Guys, if you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you're not yet a subscriber, well, now is your time to get subscribed to my channel.